What is up, guys, and welcome to episode 14 of the Dad's Life Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Flack 2.0. Welcome to the show. In today's show, we are going to be talking a little bit about self-care and a little bit of update of what's going on with the week. And if the topics kind of run a little short, then I'll kind of add in a little bit of ADHD stuff. So it's kind of like what's on the agenda for this episode. First and foremost, want to thank you guys for taking time out of your day to take a listen and showing all the love and support out there on Twitter and on Facebook. So again, appreciate all you guys for that. And let's just get right into it. So basically, what's going on for the week? The whole family basically has been sick for like a good 3 weeks. Or maybe like 4 weeks. And not like full blown sick, but like the baby boy got sick, he brought something home, and then he was kind of getting over it, then it hopped over to the baby girl, and then it hopped over to, the wife, and then to me. And the only person that really didn't get it is the 14-year-old. So between people like getting it and then getting a little better, then it jumping to somebody else. Just recently I went and got a chest x-ray. And I went to the doctor because I had this lingering cough for like 3 weeks. And he wanted to make sure that it wasn't like a bronchitis or something like that. So I got a chest x-ray. He got me an inhaler. And like a cough pill instead of like some cough syrup. I guess the doctor was saying they're trying to stay away from codeine since it's like a controlled substance or whatever. So been feeling a little under the weather, and that's probably the reason why, or that is the reason why for the delay. Just been very tired. Let's see, work is work, nothing new going on there. Yeah, and then I got into Apex Legends. So if you guys don't know, I'm also a gamer dad. So part of my finding my balance besides doing this is, doing not like crazy gaming, but game. And if you guys don't know what Apex Legend, you probably guys know what Fortnite is, and basically it's like I'm thinking that it's going to be like the next Fortnite as far as like how fun it is to play. And the reason why I'm able to play it because the matches are really quick. So, again, got in some gaming, got in a little writing. Obviously, still going to work, taking care of the kids, trying to take care of the wife. And that's basically it. Hopefully your guys' week or the last couple weeks have been going a whole lot better than mine. I know it's like flu season. When I was talking to the doctor was saying they don't have that many flu instances, but the flu that they're seeing right now is like some of the worst flu. So, if you guys haven't got it, I don't know if you guys are, into vaccinations or flu shots or anything like that, but keep yourself healthy, airborne, homeopathic stuff. Edelberry, I think it's called Edelberry. The wife the wife and a couple of friends on Facebook have started taking like Edelberry. Again, if you're more into the more homeopathic stuff, try to keep well, I guess. And if you're not feeling well, hopefully you get better soon. So that's kind of going around right now. And then it kind of rolls into self-care. So being parents, we often lose ourselves to our kids or to our family or the routine or whatever. And I've been trying to, and very much so for my wife, because the wife's stay-at-home parent, and so I've been trying to push her to work on self-care because I see it, she sees it as well, as far as like kind of getting lost in the routine. Especially with the babies being babies. Now they're a little bit older. She's a little bit more adventurous to kind of go out and do stuff. And I'm definitely pushing her to, work on self-care. And again, if you're a stay-at-home parent or, your spouse is a stay-at-home parent or whatever, or somebody, being a stay-at-home parent is a 24-hour job, and there's no off time, no sick time, no nothing like that, no breaks, no lunches. So, and sometimes we undervalue the stay-at-home parent, and so I understand that. I love my wife. I appreciate everything she does. So I always try to push her to go do stuff that you think are fun. So she's into like she's like into like spiritual stuff, and she has a lady she goes sees. I don't want to call her like a fortune teller or nothing, but like a spiritual healer or whatever. And I've been pushing her to go see her more, and she has, which is great. And she was doing this one event with her, and she asked me, when's the last time you felt handsome? And I guess the theme for this event was like goddess, and it was like so she in her head she was like I'm supposed to like show up to this event feeling like a goddess, and I've never felt that way, or that's like not my thing. So she was like, I wanted to ask you the question, like, when's the last time you felt like handsome, like, put together and all this stuff or whatever? And, thought-provoking question. And I said, for me, it's been a long time. Like, if to answer that question, the answer I gave her was, like when I was in my 20s, like right before I had my son, like I said, I grew up poor. So, got my own job, moved out, feeling I had my life together, going out buying little fits and all that stuff and nice shoes and, looking good, really feeling really good about myself. And then, she was like, and, then I had the kid, and then it wasn't about me anymore. So then she asked, well, when was the last time you felt handsome after having the boy? And she predicted, and I said, our wedding was the last time I felt, and we've been married for 7 years now, or we're going on 7 years now, or is it 5 years? And we've been together for 7. No, we've been together for 7. We've been married, I think, going on 6 years. But our wedding, which was 6 years ago, now that I do the math, was the last time I felt like I had it together, like looking real good, feeling real good about myself. I was going to the gym, 3 times a week, doing kickboxing with my son. Feeling real good about it. Just, got all my family. They kind of came out, from everywhere, from Reno, from back, North Carolina, Crescent City, so like Oregon. And, all these people from different times of my life came to celebrate that. Like, a lot of my friends now came, old school friends, my godfathers came, and I felt really, really good. And of course, getting married to the most amazing woman in my life, that was also a plus as well. And and the wife, she kind of predicted that, and it just kind of made me think, like, because she's pursuing self-care, and I'm like, well, why don't I want to do that? Why don't I want to participate in events and do things that make me feel good about myself? And I have found that I've got caught up in the routine of things, and kind of, I'm not gonna say I let myself go, because I'm not any bigger per se than I was as far as like weight or anything like that. But you could just tell, like, all I got in my closet are work clothes and pajamas for the most part, or, sweats to hang around the house, and maybe 1 or 2 pairs of jeans, for going out, maybe. I used to be into shoes and clothes and all that stuff. And just my whole get down had been changed. So I come to realize that I got lost in the routine of things. And part of doing this, chronicling this time of my life, for my son, or whoever was feeling like listening, is part of my self-care, is because I want to create and produce and have an audience and have engaging comments with people, or not, but just me putting in the effort to produce something for somebody else to enjoy. Because if I haven't mentioned this in previous episodes, that's what I'm into, is creating. My biggest thing is I'd love to have a movie, on the silver screen before I die. Even if it's like a low budget indie movie. I do have a couple scripts written up that I think that would do well. They're just, right now it's about the family. It's about, the day in, day outs, taking care of the babies. They're sick right now. The teenager, he's struggling in school and, with his attitude and stuff like that. So it's not about, and then of course the wife is sick. So it's not about me. It's not about my self-care. It's not about, or self-care is at the back of my mind, if even a thought at all. So part of like trying to get back into gaming a little bit and, doing this and trying to be consistent, even though now it's Wednesday, so it's already 2 days late. So, I need to kind of get back onto my Monday night recordings. So again, I do appreciate you guys for taking the time out, even though the show is delayed this week. And again, hopefully you understand, parenting, it's tiresome. So my question, my challenge to you guys is, same thing. I would like to know, when's the last time you felt handsome or, like a goddess or beautiful or, when's the last time you felt, your best after the children, after the family. And when you felt you had everything together, because I know, just talking to some of the parents that do listen to the show, it's usually a shit show at the house, but I would like you to ask yourself that question, think about it, and, it's not to be a downer, it's not to say, hey, I it's been so long, it's to kind of realize that if the answer is it's been a while, then maybe it's time to focus on some self-care. Maybe it's time to, and self-care doesn't mean going out and spending a lot of money and going to the spa or anything like that. But maybe more about like taking time out for yourself, taking the hour to go take the dog for a walk, just to get out the house, break up that routine. So that would be my question is when's the last time you felt, handsome or, or like a goddess, pretty, beautiful or, had your stuff together. And then the challenge is if it's been a long time, start focusing on it. And then for those folks that do focus on healthcare, or that's like self-care, and that's a big portion of how you, find your balance, go ahead and leave some comments. You leave me a voicemail here on the Anchor app, or, hit me up on Twitter at Sean Flack. And, what are some things you do that keep you balanced and keep you together, and what could you suggest for other listeners of the show, for those of us that aren't always our best, or it's been a long time since we've kind of pampered ourselves or took time out for ourselves. So what's working for you? So that's kind of basically that. Self-care, we're dads, and that's why I lead off with, it's always lead off with the him and the stuff like that, and handsome, because this is a Dad's Life podcast, hopefully out there relating to other dads that are out there. I was a single dad for a long time, and there wasn't that many resources for us that were serious business and talked about topics seriously. So, when's the last time, you had it together? And if not, work on yourself. That's going to be the challenge, I'm playing Apex Legends. Again, I am a dad, and I was a big time gamer before the kids, and even when I was a single dad, didn't go out and spend money at the bar or whatever. We just hung out online and played games. Apex Legend is a EA game. It is a battle royale game. It's a 3-person squad where, if you're not familiar with battle royale games, they dump you onto a map. You find all your guns and your weapons, and then you try to eliminate as many people as you can. And it's free. And that's the other thing, too. It's free. It's free to download, free to play. They kind of get you locked in on, like, getting skins or, like, a founder's pack or, all these different things that, they kind of get you on. to microtransactions to kind of nickel and dime you. But all in all, the game is free. It's fun. It's fast paced. Yeah, and that's why I kind of got into that one. I try to do stuff at no cost at all, if any. So, I game. That's one of the things. I do this. I do the podcast that helps me stay balanced. But as far as like being handsome, I definitely would have to say it's been a while, and I need to start thinking about that self-care. And again, like I said, that's the whole gaming situation. I loved gaming before, and it is what it is. All right, so that'll be it for that topic. I still got about 5 more minutes before I usually like to end. So, if you guys were interested, episode 13, I did talk about our experience with CBD oil, which is a hemp-derived oil that they're using, or they're currently doing testing and studying to see how it helps, like medicinally. It's like, people smoke marijuana for the medicinal purposes, so now they're trying other ways to cultivate the plant in non-mind-altering ways, and seeing how they could take the medicinal uses of those without the euphoric or, without the drug aspect of it. So, so if you haven't listened to it, it is episode 13. It got delayed because, everybody's sick and stuff like that. But go ahead and check out that episode. It is episode 13. And part of that, I did talk about, I didn't talk about the diagnosis section of it. I talked more about the actual CBD experience. Just to recap that, right now, we felt some positives. We felt like that would eventually be the way we'd want to go as far as treating, our ADHD teenager. We'd eventually want to go that way, but right now, weighing the pros and cons, we switched back to the Adderall. And as an update to that episode, we just had a therapy session yesterday with a psychiatrist, that was part of his ADHD diagnosis, and he kind of, he did the regular old medical health care thing and said, there isn't any studies out there that prove that it works for ADHD. There are some that, the CBD oil does help with autism and other neurological illnesses, but not necessarily ADHD. Just because there isn't one out there doesn't mean it doesn't. Again, in our situation, it didn't. But he said, the jury's still out. There's still there's still studies being done, being conducted, and so he might not be able to endorse it now. But maybe later on down the line he would be able to. But the main thing that we got from that session was the fact that, sometimes you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons when dealing with your ADHD teen. And if, it gives you a 5%, a 5% increase or improvement, 25% increase improvement, that's better than nothing. And, right now the focus is getting him through school. So that's a little update on that. We did talk to the therapist, and then the other thing too was, and if I don't remember if I covered it, because I know I specifically said I didn't want to cover it in that episode, was the diagnosis section. I am so sorry for that. The diagnosis section of it actually was pretty interesting. Once you want to get your kid tested for ADHD, it's basically a questionnaire. They're going to send a questionnaire to the school. You'll have to fill out the questionnaire, a different questionnaire, and then our son filled out another questionnaire, and then they kind of compare the answers, and then they do the diagnosis from there, like seeing, and you don't talk to each other when it comes to like filling this stuff out. It's more about observation, and then based upon the answers to the survey is how he felt about it, how he answered, how the teachers answered, and how we answered. They came up with the diagnosis of a mild ADHD case. So that was pretty interesting. My initial feelings on that was I thought it was some BS. First of all, I'm from the old school and ADHD. Put a belt to his butt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the cure was. That's what it is. And obviously, it was more than that. And then the process of getting tested, I thought it was kind of BS. But one thing I was impressed about it was, our healthcare provider. They before they even talked about the medication or even suggested the medication through the doctor, they said, go to these workshops, and we went to 2 workshops that talked about ADHD and things you could do non-medication first. And some of those things we were already doing, but generally you have to give them some structure, so we had to give them a list. Get them, stay on top of their time management. Make sure they eat right. Take the sugars away, take the electronics away an hour before bedtime. If they're doing electronics, take the sugar away. The diet had to be a whole lot better. Had to at least get 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. Before they even wanted you to put them on meds, they wanted a very strict regimen. Try multivitamins. Get them on a multi. All these different things first and see if there's any improvement with the ADHD symptoms. And if not, then go to the medication. And again, I didn't know this, and I thought that was very responsible from, if you don't know, we have Kaiser Permanente, and they have like a really bad track record with stuff like this. So I was kind of leery when they said ADHD. But, they basically put you through these workshops and give you all this education, because a lot of the times when the parents don't fully understand how ADHD works and what they could do to counteract it without the medication, once they put the kid on the medication, their daily life and behavior will work against the medication. So let's just say you start off with 5 mils, as a dose, and it doesn't work. Then they go to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, until whatever the max dosage is. And it's like, this is not working. They always go back and ask, well, what is their routine? And they want, because, the non-sleep, they won't be focused. If they're not eating right, they're not exercising, if they're not, they're staying up too late. All these different things counteract any kind of medication. So you can't really gauge the usefulness of the medication if you're not setting up all the structure and the eating right, the exercising, etc. You can't really tell if the medication is working if you don't set that up first. So, and that took a little while to implement, because they want it to be a routine before then. But I was really impressed with the way they did it. Initially, I was not. I was like, oh, this is kind of okie. I could just fake these answers just to get the Adderall. And but before they did that, they wanted to make sure that you had all that stuff in place, and then they started the dose low and kind of amped it up. So 14 years old, he's 120 pounds, 5'7", I believe. We have him on a 35 mil. And that's kind of like our sweet spot as far as his dosage goes. So yeah, just want to share a little bit of that as far as the diagnosis and where the dosage is. And if I didn't say this in the previous episode, when we did switch him back to Adderall, he could actually feel himself be more focused. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that he could tell the difference in that. And, again, I did want to reemphasize to him and to his psychiatrist that we didn't want him to be on the meds forever. And, the doctor 100% agreed. But right now, what he needs is that extra boost in focus and being able to stay on task just to get through middle school, high school. So yeah, so that's basically all the time we have for the episode. I kind of went over particularly, but that's okay. It's about an update. It's about, I didn't have any specific topic except for the self-care thing, because that's kind of like what's the main theme right now with myself and the wife. So Thank you for watching. Any, questions or listening, taking the time out to listen. If you have any questions, comments, emotional outbursts on these topics, so the ADHD with my son, again, if you guys want to hear more about that, definitely let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at Sean Flack. Self care, I would love to hear, if, for those of you out there that are, big on self care, like what do you guys do to kind of keep yourself balanced, keep yourself together? And then again, the challenge and the question for you guys, ask yourself, when's the last time you felt good? When's the last time post kids did you feel like you had stuff together? And if your answer is it's been a long time, or been a couple months or whatever, maybe it's time for you. The challenge would be to go ahead and work on some self care. And that's basically it. The family's sick. Again, apologies for this being a little late. Again, always thank you for taking your time out. Thank you for all the support and the love. And until the next episode, peace.